Well, to God be the glory for the great thing that He alone is doing. Welcome to the last word with Minister Eddie Perpignan. Thank you for joining me on tonight. I like to say this is a Big Don production and a Jerry Green gospel. I again am Eddie Perpignan. On the last word, you can definitely catch us on these platforms, which is Roku TV, Fire TV, Apple TV. Definitely, you can always listen to us live on YouTube, definitely on Facebook, Cross TV. Always, you can stream us on your Apple device or your Android device. But better yet, you should download the KMI app USA. Go to your Play Store or your App Store on your phone or on your computer and download the app. You can always catch us here on Monday nights at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., or you can catch us on Sunday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. May God bless each and every one of you. Wasn't it wonderful that the weather feels like it's changing today? I was outside. It was around 5:30 and it was still light outside. I'm like, this is a good feeling. Spring is in the air. Wouldn't you say we had a real cold winter this year? It's been a long time since we've had such a cold winter, but to God be the glory. I guess all the seasons, some people love the cold. I am not a fan of the cold, but it is for something I'll tolerate with. For how long, I don't know, before I start looking to move somewhere tropical, somewhere nice and warm all year long. That's what I'm into. Well, God, to God be the glory. Well, tonight we're going to talk about no, we had a couple things on schedule. Definitely, first of all, I want to wish my brother Kendall Tyson a happy birthday to you, Kendall. May God bless you, keep you. You are definitely a favorite. We love you, wishing you the best. You and Marianne. Kendall was the one who introduced me to Big Don and Jerry Green and got me on this platform, and I thank him very much. But once again, happy birthday to you, my brother. God bless you, love you, wish all the best for you. Praise God. So this month is Black History Month. So we definitely always want to learn something about Black history. And I think I shared something last time with you all. And actually, Kendall has sent me something about an individual, but which I'm not going to talk about him tonight. But if you ever want to learn some a fabulous or great person, is Tunis Campbell. Tunis Tunis Campbell. Fascinating study of him. He was actually in part of Congress. He led an army. He was part of the rebellion to fight for freedom. But remarkable story about this individual, and I haven't done enough research to actually study about him. But I was listening to a videotape about him and reading some things online. But I definitely want to touch base on him. But it's always good that if you learn something about somebody, and not just particular if it's African American or Black history, but something that's historical, something that can be a significance, and something that just broaden your understanding of, how you arrive, how you and this society arrive to where it's at. So tonight, what are we going to talk about? Had a couple things in mind, and I was balancing between the two. So I decided, let me just talk about this. Well, yesterday was what? Was it yesterday? No, Saturday. Saturday was Valentine's Day for all of the lovers. Valentine's Day, which is a big, big commercial consuming holiday in our society. Valentine's Day is when everybody's supposed to be lovey dovey, get some flowers, get some candies, go out to dinner, kind of like taking a pause and taking a look at each other and celebrating the love that's between couples. And while holidays are nice to have, they remind us of something. They're just basically a reminder. Um, Valentine's Day actually, there's a couple stories for Valentine's Day. Some it's equated with the Valentine of the one of the popes who when King Claudius, I believe the second, said that the military men couldn't get married, and he performed marriages, and was kind of that similar story. I do not want to kind of like put that as an actual that is it, but you can read it for yourself. It does do with some pagan traditions that was also involved of romance, fertility. So a lot of things encompassed to for it to become, and over the years it grew to what it was. But the most significant part of it is a reset to look at relationship. And so everybody gets all flustered and fluffy on the inside and mushy and gushy and ready to celebrate Valentine's Day. So I'll talk a little bit about Valentine's Day in a different sense. Because we all want some form of attraction. Now, that's one thing about the human being. We love attention. We want to be loved, and we want someone to love us. That's just the nature of being a human being. I want somebody to love me, and I want somebody that I can love, because love is reciprocal. It cannot just stay with you. It is motion. It has to do something. It must receive, and it must give. Anytime you feel you're in a relationship that you're just giving and not receiving, then it is not love. And our societal definition of love is so watered down that people fall in love with anything. I'm in love with my pets. I'm in love with my dog, my cat. I'm in love with my car. I'm in love with my house. I'm in love with these shoes. Or I'm in love with this dress. I'm in love with this suit. I'm in love with her body. I'm in love with his body. I'm in love with this vacation. People, they just use the word so loosely. It's people are in love with everything, and which is actually they're attracted, they're in lust, they're in want of something. The Bible definitely has a different definition of love, and which is not what I really want to get into. But when we look at that word in our society, and like Valentine's around this big old heart, this big old heart, and then the celebration of it. But we as human, we love. Most people love love, especially ladies love the feeling of it. And I think it's just the excitement of it, or it's the newness of it. It's that feel that you don't get every day, and somebody making you, like I said, feel like you're on cloud nine, and your head's up on the cloud, and your judgment is screwed, and you're not making good sense of everything, because you're overwhelmed by all this dopamine running through your releasing in your brains, and you feel so good, and it's like me and my boo against the world, my ride and die, and everything for that person in the beginning. And it is exciting. There is an excitement about it, and there's an excitement with everything that is new, with everything that is in that stage. There is such an excitement. And love also comes with a little bit of heartache. There's you have to really love in order to understand what a heartbreak is, and heartbreak can be devastating. Heartbreak can be you know very destructive. People who suffered major heartbreak, sometimes people never recover, to the point that a real bad heartbreak, an individual can actually take their life, and they can never move on, and they're stuck in that time frame, that period, or that situation. And that there's just now this other feeling that comes up, and they anger, and they hate that individual, and they're mad at the world. They feel betrayed. And they said that betrayal of a lover is the second hardest emotion that the human being feel. It's almost like feeling death for the second time, but not to the full extent as physical or real death of a human being. But when somebody you love betrays you, it almost make you feel in that brain in that stage, because there's such a vast emptiness, a hole, a void that just seems to be there, and there's a loneliness, a coldness that takes over, and an isolation, and people hardly know how to cope and how to move on, and it can be very, very devastating. And it's that extreme feeling from the feeling that you were getting before, where you were in cloud nine, you can fly, and everything was all good, and you would do everything for that person, and there's nothing you wouldn't do, and you believed in that person, you trusted in that person, whatever that person said was golden, and you saw your future, and you said, I can't live without that person, and you're just giddy, you're happy, you're smiling. I mean, just wonderful, wonderful. And it takes some time to understand these two extremes do coexist at times within one relationship, and it is a difficulty. But after that, there are balances in the relationship that must take place. But as we're saying that, as being human, we desire that to have some type of fellowship. It's the human nature to fellowship, to be in commune with somebody, and we get these attachments to people, and especially when you're younger, there's this the rawness of your emotion is there. And when somebody connects to the rawness of your emotion, because it has not been touched yet, has not been tainted yet, it has not been developed yet, and all of a sudden you can completely let yourself go. That's why when a young person fall in love, they're just dangerous at that time. Everything can happen. They don't care what their mother or their father said, and we all been there. So you definitely been there, and I've been there. That at that point in time, you couldn't nobody tell you anything, because you don't understand all of this feeling that you have and where it's coming from, and you equate it to that person. And when we fall into these attractions, we equate the significance to that individual, that is the person who makes me feel this way, and I'm in love with that person, that's mine. And some people go to the extreme that they become obsessed with that person, they just have to have that person, they become clingy, and I gotta be around you day and night. Where you going, where you at, when you gonna call me? I just hung up. You there, and you're on the phone, and there's just after conversation is gone, you just breathing. You just want to be around, just want to have this connection. And so when you're new to it, it's just a lot of, you're sensitive to that person, and you put your trust, that person becomes your whole world. And because there's a in depth connection that is made between you and that individual. So I want to talk a little bit about two aspects of this so-called feeling that we go through, and then when Valentine's Day come, we celebrate. Now, you know what's the craziest thing? That the number one breakup day, so as there's Valentine's Day, they're getting together, romantic day, there is a breakup day also on our calendar, right? The number one breakup day is December 11th, right? Because everybody know Christmas coming around, got to spend money, there's problems, which is another, society has turned into a commercial consuming thing instead of the meaning of what it's supposed to be. But other than that, the Tuesday before Valentine is the second biggest breakup day, because people are not sure they want to be in relationship. So the Tuesday before Valentine's Day is called Red Tuesday, and that's when most people break up. And there's just like so much stress. I don't know if I'm in a relationship or I should be in a relationship. I don't know what is going because Valentine kind of make you have to face the person, and then like I need to break up. I need to get out of this relationship. And so that's when a lot of heartbreaks happen. Um, that Red Tuesday. But I want to talk about two illustration, and I'm gonna kind of go back and forth a little bit. One of the things they talk about is like when you fall in relationship, you try to identify who you are. So there's you ever heard of like something called the five love language? I recommend that you get that and read that. The five love language. It deals with your communication style, how you express yourself, your personality toward the individual, how you see love, what you think about relationship, how you think about it. And so the five major things that are in the five love language and the newness of it now they're kind of just kind of revamped it a little bit. So I'm going to give you both side of the older version and the newer version. The older version was affection, that you need is part of it, should be part of your language to know how you show your affection. Attention, how you give attention. Affirmation, how you affirm someone or want to be affirmed. Adoration, the way you care for the person. And then appreciation, being thankful for the individual in your life or having them be thankful for you in their life. So I'll say it again: affection, attention, affirmation, adoration, and appreciation. So those are the real five languages of relationship, and learning how to develop and grow with those language to express or to receive makes a difference of how you and that significant other will really flourish together. In today's society, they kind of changed it up a little bit. They said, the five love language are acts of service, what things that you have to do for each other, giving each other something precious, quality time, making sure that you spend quality time. And I think that's where the concept of the 222 came from. Relationship 222 means like um spending at least a couple hours a week together, and spending every other 2 weeks having some form of date, doing something together, and every 2 month taking a short getaway from your normalcy, and every 2 year taking a vacation. So the 222 rule comes with the quality time. And then definitely affirmation, and then physical touch plays a big part of relationship, because you can only touch who you are in relationship with, or else could cause you trouble if you touch somebody you're not in a relationship to or hasn't given you the consent. And that form of consent is some form of some level of relationship. In the form of relationship, we always find two areas that are very sensitive: sex and romance. Sex provides recreation, reproduction, and communion. I'll say it again: sex provide recreation, reproduction, and communion. The communion is where the two become one, as there's a level of oneness and understanding of what they share, that it becomes sacred. The reproduction is where children can be birthed. So be careful of saying, why you having sex and like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Like you shocked. Like seriously, no, you do it enough time, it will happen. And in recreation, that you guys can enjoy each other. You can't, be bouncing around. Yes, sex is a great thing, and I think a lot of people love it in the aspect because sex in itself can be very addictive, and a lot of people become addicted to it and not know they're addicted. They're just saying, oh, sex just feel good, I just want to have it, I just want to do it, but don't realize they are addicted to sex And so they just jump from partners to partners to partners to partners to partners. And no matter how dangerous it might be in what they're doing, and no matter whose life might be at risk, but it becomes almost like it's an addiction to them, same way as somebody who's on drug. They don't care whose life they're risking. They don't know care how much it costs them. They just gotta have the pipe, they gotta have the smoke, they gotta have the drink. And sex is one of the biggest addiction it is, because it is a natural a need for us as human being, but there is responsibility in that aspect. And some of us just come to the point we do not care about the responsibility because I just gotta have it, like Spike Lee said. um but then the other aspect of it is romance bring intimacy and bring discovery. It takes time to learn the person or to express yourself. With sex, you don't have to express yourself. Like, two dogs having sex, they don't express themselves. They just basic instincts, they just go at each other and just have it. Or two people in the heat of the moment, they don't express themselves. But romance, there's a time of intimacy that you take the time out to do something. You're showing that what you think of the person in that moment. And romance comes from both sides. It ought to come from man and the woman. It's not one sided. It's not like, okay, he does everything and I gotta throw a negligee and that's romance. Nah, that's not how it go. That's easy to just package, yourself. No, no, no. Romance is that you also have to have an intimacy to show yourself what you care about, how you feel, and what you expect, and to set some expectation. And what makes it exciting in romance is discovery. It is a newness that the person went out of their way to do all this for you. So you're discovering something about the person, how they feel towards you, or what they think about the relationship. So, it's different from sex in itself. You Both of them are needed in a relationship, because you're not going to have romance all day long. Some days you just want to have sex. That's just the truth of it. But sometimes you need to have romance in the process of it, and romance comes in many forms. And this is not what I want to lay my hat on. I just wanted to step on this to get to the next part I wanted to talk about. So we wanted to talk about that area of the attraction, the affection, the attention, the appreciation, the physical touch, the quality time, the gifts, the acts of service, all these things that encompass to make the relationship what it is, and that whole aspect of communion and communication, and who you are to me, and how do I keep discovering you, and how do I keep showing myself to you. And it takes a lot of time, because life in itself is busy. Life in itself is demanding. Life in itself is always a hustle and a bustle and asking things of us. And so we must find within ourselves the time to create for our significant other, our spouses, to make them feel special or to communicate with them. So I want to read something for you from the book of Solomon, the Song of Solomon. Solomon says something so wonderful. And if you've never read the book of Solomon, I encourage you. You and your significant other should spend time reading the book of Solomon together. Um, Talking about it a little bit. Solomon shares some in-depth information. And yes, Solomon, the one who had 500 wives, I believe. I guess he must have learned a thing or two. But Solomon says some wonderful thing in his writing. But in the chapter 4 of the book of Solomon, and it reads, and he says, calls this chapter the beloved. And he's speaking, and actually it said it's not really Solomon who writes this particular thing right here, in the whole book of Solomon. There are parts of his, but we're not going to get theological upon that. Let's just stay unfocused on this and share that. So, the beloved, behold, you are fear, my love. Behold, you are fear. You have dove's eyes behind your veil. Your hair is like flock of a goats going down from Mount Gilead. Now, if you told a woman like she has hair like the flock of a goat, right? In today's society, that would not make it, unless you understand what the writer was actually writing in the poetic form of what he was saying. Um, and I don't want to try to break down every line of Solomon, but like I said, it would be a wonderful thing if you and your significant other read it together. So I'm going to go on until I get to the last part. Your teeth are like a flock of shorn sheep, which have come up from the washing. That means they're pearly white. Pearly white, yes. Everyone which bear twins, that means they are all in line. They bear twins, everyone. That means like you got perfect teeth, girl. When you smile, cling, there's that star, there is twinkle. It looks good on you. Your smile is everything to me. Um, and none is barren among them. He said, like, none is barren. I mean, like, none is missing. You ain't buck tooth. You ain't got a teeth missing here. There ain't no gold teeth there to replace. There ain't no cavities or anything like that. You got good teeth. That means you got good breath. And that means you got luscious lips. And he said they were worthy to be kissed. Your lips are like a strand of scarlet without even putting on makeup already. Your lips are rose. They're like scarlet. They're perfect. They're ripe. Your mouth is lovely. Your temples behind your veil are like pieces of pomegranate. Your neck is like the tower of David, built for the armory, of which hang 1,000 bucklers, all shield of mighty men. Your two breasts are like two fawns, twins of the gazelle. I mean, like, girl, you got it going on. You're standing firm, which feed among the lilies until the day breaks and the shadow flees away. I will go on my way to the mountain of myrrh and to the hill of frankincense. You are all fear, my love, and there is no spot in you. He said, you are perfect in beauty to my eyes. Now remember, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. He said, everything about you, there's no spot, there's no blemish. Remember, the Bible tells us in Ephesians chapter 6 that, Jesus will, husband, present your wife as Christ presents a church without spot or blemish. Like, she is perfect to you. If she is perfect to you, you won't have wandering eyes for others, but there's a work that you must do within that. So now, one of the amazing thing about relationship is that when you meet somebody in the first couple of years, which they call the honeymoon years, first 2 3 years is the honeymoon years. First 2 years, honeymoon years. When today's society is only the first month, and then it's crazy, right? The honeymoon years. At first, when you're attracted to somebody, you put a lot of value on that person. You're giving a lot of value to that person. They haven't earned it yet, but you're giving it to them. It is later, after all of the bliss is gone and your eyes are open and the emotion comes down. You're now learning the person. Now the person has a responsibility to give value back, to show you how valuable they are to you. Like, it's in the aspect, mean, like, there's a person who you can trust, a person who will keep their word, a person who will work with you, a person who can agree, you can have communication, a person, even if you have argument, there's no disrespect in the argument, a person you can build with, a person that you say, I can see the rest of my life with this person. I can understand, excuse me, I can understand this person. Because if the person shows you like they have no value, meaning like they're disrespectful, they don't care what you say, that they do whatever they want to, then you said that this person has no value to me. At first, you were given value because you were attracted to the person. Then afterward, down, the person have to show you who they are. And then these are the elements that you said, I love this about this person. I love that about this person. There's always going to be some things you don't like and some things you can work with. And there are some things you can never change, because that's people. You got to give them grace and room in order to be themselves. And some things, you got to be able to live with. Like Bob Marley said, you know what? We all gonna suffer from somebody. Just choose the person you're gonna suffer for, because everybody's gonna give you some level of suffering. But at the same time, when you find that person, there's some qualities, there's some characteristics about this person, there's some attributes about this person, that value that you feel, that you like. I love this about this person, and something that you can grow with, and so that becomes very, very important. So let me go back to the book and said. Solomon says, "You are all fear, my love, and there is no spot in you. Come with me from Lebanon, my spouse. With me from Lebanon. Look from the top of Amna, from the top of Sinir and Hermon, from the lion's den, from the mountains of the leopards. You have ravished my heart. I mean, you have just made me lose my mind over you, my sister, my spouse. I mean, you are every relationship that I need. You have ravished my heart with one look of your eyes. It doesn't even take much. With one look of your eyes, with one link of your necklace, how fair is your love. He says, let me go right back to that last verse. He said, with one link of your necklace, he said, just the glance of the features about you, I see something that I don't see nobody else. And sometimes people are like, why you with her, or why she with him? And like, that's none of your business. Yeah, they see something within that person that you don't see. And Solomon said, just your necklace, just not a necklace, not necklace, your necklace, just the way you hold your head, just the way you turn it, just your posture, yeah, just the silhouette that falls from your being, from your shape. He said, I just love everything about you. He said, how fair is your love, my sister, my spouse. He gives to an in-depth relationship, like my sister, like somebody I grew up with, I know well. I can be with my spouse, my intimate partner. How much better than wine is your love, and the scent of your perfume than all the spices. Your lips, oh my spouse, drips as honeycomb, honey and milk under your tongue. I mean, you are sweet to me, and the fragrance of your garment is the fragrance of Lebanon. A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse, a spring shut up, a fountain seal. Your plants are the orchard of the pomegranate, with pleasant fruits, fragrance, hyena, and spikenard, camelus and cinnamons, with trees and frankincense, myrrh and aloes, with all the chief spices, a fountain of garden, a well of living waters. I mean, I have found love, I have found life, I have found taste, I have found pleasure, I have found every desire, every passion, every fruit, every aphrodisiac. You are it, girl. You are everything that I have need. I have tasted you. I know I don't want to taste anything no more. Taste and see that she is good to me. And this is the one that I am holding putting my hat down, throwing my cards on the table, throwing the key away. I've made up my mind. I ain't going nowhere else. This is it. I have found the one that I have searched for. My heart was longing for you, and all of a sudden, here you are before me. And God has given me a gift that I couldn't even desire or ask for, but He has made you just for me, one without spot or blemish. And so I will bless His name. And so He says, oh, wait, oh, north wind, and come, oh, south, blow upon my garden, that its spices may flow. Solomon begins to tell that love is something that is deep, that is intimate, that is something of communion and affection and attention and affirmation and adoration, that I am so lost into you. You are lost into me, and I need you, and we are one. I can't separate from you. They used to say, well, they not used to say, one of the examples of relationship was the very fact, if you would take I believe I heard this from Pastor John Hagee, who made this illustration, which was good, and I'll just say it right now. He said that, if you take two tomatoes, right, if you take potatoes, and you boil the potatoes, and after you boil the potatoes, you peel the potatoes, and after you peel the potatoes, or maybe peel the potatoes first and then wash them and then boil the potato, proper procedure. And after you boil them together, then you smash them together, then you season them, then you stir them up together. The two potatoes that you peel them and that you boil them together, and then you smash them together, and then you season them, and then you stir them together, become one mashed potato. And this is what relationship is like. This is one. There's a process that, we're peeling off our old way. We're peeling off the identity. We're peeling off the defense and the boundaries and the walls that we have been, because now we're going to become unpeeled, and we're going to become naked and unshamed before one another, that we can share an intimate relationship that I can't share with nobody else. I can't share with that person. Nobody knows me like my wife. My wife knows me more intimate than anybody else, and I know her more intimate than anybody else. We share in a relationship, a covenant. It is sacred, and in that process to become one, there were some moments of heat. There were some moments of difficulty. There were some moments of toughness. There were some moments of lashing out, being mad at each other, being angry toward each other. There were some moments of confusion. There were some moments that we felt like we wanted to be this apart from each other, but because that moment was a moment that was breaking us, that was making us yield to one another, because those are the moments that God was trying us, and life was putting a test before us. And in that moment, we had to discover that where we want to be together. And in that moment, we had to learn how to resolve problems together. And this is the mashing of solving problems together, learning how to agree with one another, even though we had differences, learning how to say, okay, you know what, I disagree and I agree. I'll support you even though I don't believe in it. This is the moment I have to come. I just say, oh yes, I want to be there for your dreams, and she want to be there for my dreams. And then there is the seasoning, and now everything becomes to be much better. Everything becomes to have much flavor. Everything begins to make more sense. And then there's a stirring of the oneness. And now there is no separation between her and me. There is no beginning from her or no end from me. We are just one. And if you would take a part of her and give it to somebody else, it will take a part of me and with that person. If I took a part of me and give it to somebody else, it'll be part of her going to that person, because there's no separation between her and I, because we are one. And Solomon illustrates that and says that, oh, my beloved, my sister, my spouse, my frankincense, my myrrh, my essence, my beauty, you are one with me. You are everything to me. You are what I needed, I desire, I want you. But there's a process of working to get to that point. But in the other aspects, that there is that desire that people have also, and you must be very, 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 very careful in that process. There is that process also, and that process is found in, or that feeling, or that attention, or that individual who comes to you is found in the book of Second Samuel verse 13. 2 Samuel verse 13. We went to the Song of Solomon chapter 4, but now we'll go to 2 Samuel verse 13. And I'll read this one for you as well. And this deals with David's sons. After this, Absalom, the son of David, had a lovely sister in whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. Amnon was so distressed over his sister Tamar that he became sick. He was so obsessed. He was so in love with his half sister that he was sick for her. He was losing his mind. He just had to have her. Don't get fooled with people who feels or who tell you they just got to have you. You are God's gift to me, and I got to have you. I can't live without you. Like, no, boo, boo, I want you to be able to live without me because I don't want nobody trying to take me out. Like, if I can't have you, no one can. Nah, we ain't having that. Please let me love you more than you love me. If in case you need to go, you can go. Lord knows. And he was so distressed over his sister Tamra that he became sick, for she was a virgin. Needless to say, this ain't the time for it. I'm gonna let that go. And it was improper for Amnon to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother. Now, Jonadab was a very crafty man, and he said to him, "Why are you, the king's son, become thinner day after day? You will you not tell me?" Amnon said to him, "I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister." So Jonadab said to him, "Lie down on your bed and pretend to be ill, and when your father comes to see you, say to him, 'Please let my sister Tamar come and give me food, and prepare the food in my sight, that I might see it and eat from her hand.'" Then Amnon lay down and pretended to be ill. And when the king came to see him, Amnon said to the king, "Please let Tamar, my sister, come and make a couple of cakes for me in my sight, that I might eat from her hand." And David sent home to Tamar, saying, "Now go to your brother Amnon's house and prepare food for him." So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laying down. When she took flour and kneaded it and made cakes in his sight, she baked the cake. Not like a woman who can cook, right? And she took the pan and placed them out before him, but he refused to eat. Now, this was the one who was getting thinner because he couldn't eat, because he had to have Tamar, because he was so sick to his stomach that all he could do is think about her day and night. These are the elements of lust, obsession, destruction for relationship. And she took the pan and placed them out before him, but he refused to eat. Then Amnon said, "Have everyone go out from me." And they all went from him. Be careful of people who try to isolate you. Be careful of people who try to isolate you, of people who can protect you. Then Amnon said to Tamar, "Bring the food into the bedroom, that I may eat from your hand." And Tamar took the cakes which she had made and brought them to Amnon, her brother, in the bedroom. Now, when she had brought them to him to eat, he took hold of her and said to her, "Come lie with me, my sister." Now, let's look at Amnon calling Tamar his sister, and look at Solomon calling his beloved his sister. They both saw it from a perspective that is similar, but one is trying to isolate to keep from himself, but one is trying to celebrate and show the world. And then now when she had brought them to eat, he took hold of her and said, "Come lie with me." He didn't celebrate her. He didn't love her. He saw nothing about her. Even what she did wasn't even good enough for him. Be careful when you do for somebody, it's just never good enough. The only thing he wanted was what he wanted. But she answered him and said, "No, my brother, do not force me. For no such thing should be done in Israel." Do not do this disgraceful thing. What will you be willing to sacrifice to please somebody that is disgraceful? And she said, where could I take my shame? And as for you, who would be like one of the fools of Israel? Now, therefore, please speak to the king. She's actually willing to compromise, for he will not withhold me from you. However, he will not heed her voice. And being stronger than she, he forced her and laid with her. Amnon finally got what he desired, what he wanted, what he obsessed over, what he was going crazy for. I just wanted her so bad. Have you ever fought? How have you ever deceived, manipulated, lied just to get what you actually wanted? But look at what the word of God tells us. However, he would not heed her voice, and being stronger than she, he forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon, after he laid with her, then Amnon, after he had her, then Amnon, after he enjoyed her, then Amnon, after he took her virginity, then Amnon, after he manipulated, then Amnon, after he finally got what his heart desired, then Amnon hated her. Not just hated her, exceedingly. So that the hatred with which he had hated her was greater than the love which he had loved her. And he said to her, arise and be gone. You wanted her that bad, and now you're that disgusted with her. You just had to have her, but now you don't need her anymore. It's dangerous when you give yourself or allow people to manipulate you, to use you. Don't be so naive when it comes to relationship, in all types of relationship, whether you are on the business table making a deal, whether you are in the office negotiating with your employer and employees, whether you are in life dealing with shrewd people and cunning people, or whether you are coming in an intimate relationship, or whether you are dealing with family member. Don't be so naive. Don't be so gullible. Don't let people manipulate you and take you over, because once people find weakness inside of you, they are out there to destroy you most of the time. This is why you must be careful who you expose yourself to, who you open yourself to, that they do not take advantage of you. The Bible said, do not cast your pearls in front of swines, in front of things that doesn't know. Even your dreams, your ideas, your desires, and things that you want to do. It's not everybody you can have a conversation with. If not everybody you can expose yourself, tamper upon yourself in a situation by which, yes, King David told her, because he was manipulated by his own brother, who's and his own son, who told him that, you know what, send Tamar. And Tamar got caught in a mess. Many of us are dealing with the traumas of messes that we got caught up, and we don't know how we got here. Maybe it was just a drink. Maybe it was just what you doing tonight. Maybe a simple phone call led to it. Maybe it was a simple introduction. Hey, I like you to meet such and such. Maybe it was a little, you know what, they did me wrong, or he did me wrong, or she did me wrong. I'm gonna go out with that person. Maybe we find ourselves in circumstances and situation that we thought we were as innocent, but not necessarily, but we got caught up into the tangle web of somebody trying to deceive us. Tamar was in a terrible situation, and Amnon finally got what he wanted. And when he got it, he absolutely hated her. His lust turned against her. His obsession despised her. She was worth nothing to her. He was absolutely disgusted with her. He could not believe that I even laid with this woman. Why do I desire her? Why did I want her? It's amazing how people will feel about you if they take advantage of what you give them. Be mindful. Be careful. You know, they say like love is a battlefield. Oh, all is fear in love and war. Anything can happen. There are those who are dying and there are those who are flourishing and living. Like they said, everybody, the song that said, everybody plays a fool once in love. In love, you better have love than never love at all. But surely, beloved, you will get your heart broken a few times. But be smart about it. Don't let your emotions run with you. Don't expose yourself too soon. Tamar had that one gift that she was a virgin, but she met the wrong individual. And sometimes we get caught up with the wrong people in life. Learn how to read the red flags. Learn how to see the warning signal. Don't keep denying the warning signals. Don't keep denying the speed bump. Don't go over the speed bump. Oh, you go in and think it was a roller coaster. Oh, your head hit the ceiling of the car. It was a humongous speed bump. Slow down. I know you feel what you feel, but you can't live off the feelings. You can't. It will destroy you. You must find some attribute about that person. You must find some characteristics within that person that you can find a safe place, a security, something that we can work together for the greater good of us. Relationship long time ago was meant that two to come together in order to strengthen the survival of the family. That the way you were raised up, the way I was raised up, in our culture, in our ways, that we would come together, and what we have in our household was the same thing I saw in my household and the same thing you saw in your household. So it wouldn't be different, it wouldn't be strange. But in today's society, everybody's jumping into everybody's arm and everybody's jumping into everybody's bed. Everybody's jumping into everybody's page. Everybody is jumping into everybody's relationship, and every relationship is mixed matching all over the place, and everybody's doing everything because everybody's just trying to get a feel out of the relationship, not the responsibility out of the relationship. Amnon wanted no responsibility. He wanted the feel, and once he got the feel, and all the feel was gone out for him in one episode, and all of a sudden he was done. He was through. He tells her, get lost, get out, hit the road. Jack, don't come back. I don't need you no more. I'm done with you. And what a terrible state to be in when the person that you have trusted, that you have wanted, that you have loved, are suddenly rejected you. We all have found ourselves in that predicament sometime or another, whether it was a business relationship, whether it was a friendship that, you had a friend that you can trust, and all of a sudden you find out you can't trust your friend no more, or clique, or a group you used to run in, and all of a sudden you started finding a purpose, you started finding a reason to live, you started finding to do, and all of a sudden your friends don't connect with you, or you don't connect with your group no more. You don't fit in no more because something else is calling. Like when they start saying, all of a sudden you think you all that, what you trying to do, or you're serious about this, or you're in the church, or now you're getting right, or now you want to live. If you don't fit in, you don't fit in. You don't have to make yourself fit in. The right fit will come for you if you prepare yourself the right way. There will be one who will find you without spot or blemish. There will be one who said, I love your ideas. Let us talk about it. There will be someone who will said, I want to invest in you. I believe in what you're talking about. There will be one that said, you know what? I think you'll be a good fit for this company. There will be one that said, you know what? I would love to go out with you tonight. I would love to meet your family. I would love to meet your friend. Not the one that said, I don't want you to meet nobody. I can't give you my number. Only call me after a certain time. Or you know what? I'll call you. Don't call me. No. Read the room. Don't put yourself in danger, especially meeting people for the first time. You know, we have this in our society what we call catfish. Everybody's pretending to be somebody they are not, and this happened to a lot of young ladies, and that's why they get abducted. They go meet somebody in a strange place because they're born on Facebook or Instagram or social media and talking to the person, and all of a sudden, you know why? They're already in love, they're already in lust, they're already in obsession, they're already in attraction, and the person, yeah, meet me at this hotel, or you know why, take a plane ride and meet me this and go on a trip, or meet me here, we're gonna go on vacation together, and all of a sudden you never hear from that person again. You have to be careful in today in society. Relationships can be dangerous, very dangerous. So, but be more, find someone more like solid. Someone who doesn't just tell you you look good, but why you look good to them. And what does that actually mean? Someone that see greater than just the surface. Someone that hears your heart, not just the words that are coming out of your mouth. But at the same time, someone you can freely give yourself to. Someone you can express yourself. Someone you can be a child with again. That you can laugh without reservation. You can be happy and you don't have to be judged. You don't have to be afraid to be you. Someone you can express yourself. Yes, there is work to get there. Believe me, it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen. There is work to get there. But someone who's willing to put the work in with you, someone who's willing to be as vulnerable to you, and you can be vulnerable to them. As the word said, naked and not ashamed. Naked. Remember the potato? You have to peel it first. Naked and not ashamed. Someone you can share your history with. Someone who can feel you on the inside. Someone who said, we can do better together. So, on this day after Valentine's Day, I pray that you find true love. The best true love I know is the love of God through Jesus Christ. For he expressed himself. He decided that I'm going to be naked and not ashamed for you. And I am going to expose myself. And you know the wonderful thing about that? It's such a pure love, but I understand it's hard because a lot of us say, I need something physical. I need something I can see. The second love is self-love. You must love yourself. The Bible said, no man hateth his body or hateth his wife, because if he hates his wife, he hates his body. No one hates his own body. God said, you got to love yourself. You got to care about yourself. A lot of us don't honestly really love ourselves. We love moments. We love things that we think people will like. We become pleasers of people. And so we fall into depression when people are not pleased with us. But love yourself to the point where it don't matter what people really think about me. You know what? I know who I am in him. And so I'm solidified with myself. And I am happy with who he made it. You know, that's why he says in Ephesians chapter 1 that you have been accepted in the beloved, that I died for you. that I know how much you're worth. You mean so much to me. Have some self love. And that self love will be the attraction for someone who truly loves you, because you won't play games, you won't be pretending. And when they see the real you, that's the one they'll truly fall in love with. Well, may God bless you. Thank you for being with me on The Last Word. This is Minister Eddie Perpignan with The Last Word. Catch us on Monday nights from 8 to 9, or on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. This is the Big Don production and the Jerry Green Gospel. Definitely catch us on Facebook, YouTube. Download the KMI app. Definitely Roku TV, Fire TV, Apple TV. And don't forget, next month, we have that big celebration. Make sure you're there. I would love to meet some of you guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful